Today we are mourning for fallen comrade. Prescott Whitehorn will not come into the Outlast trials. At least that's how I interpreted it when the community manager basically announced that in the last dev stream they did. They basically went on a tangent and she was like, yeah, you should never take leaks for granted, and basically told us that Whitehorn was gonna get cancelled. So the prime asset that will come out in summer will be someone entirely new who we have no idea about yet, which is exciting, don't get me wrong, but I want to make this video to talk a little bit about some concerning points about that. So what would have Whitehorn been? According to leaks, again, this is the lesson we learned today, that you should never take leaks for granted. Whitehorn was gonna be the third prime asset, which is, this big, bold fuck with, a shotgun, which could have been an interesting gameplay dynamic. We now have to look at what could have been the potential of why he was cancelled. We probably will never learn that for sure, but looking at the logical standpoints, there are two reasons what could have been the case. Either the character was quote-unquote too boring and doesn't live up to the Outlast standard, which I can see personally. Like, you see at Whitehorn, obviously that was a really early iteration that was leaked, so we don't know for sure how he would have looked like later in development, but I won't lie, I was a bit concerned that he would fall flat. Like, if you compare it with the other prime assets that we have, Coil and Gooseberry, these are really good characters. So I was a bit concerned that he wouldn't live up to it, to the standard Outlast villain quality standard, so that's fine. But what could also have been the case, and that's the part that kind of bothers me a little bit, I guess, is it could be because they had the shotgun mechanic ready and they playtested it and they thought it was gonna be too broken, which could be fair regarding the shotgun thing, but if we're going according to the metric what I speculated in my ranged enemy videos, which I released a while back, then if we go against that metric, that he was supposed to be a hit scan enemy and basically it forces you to stealth more, and the developers were like, nah, that is too extreme, let's scrap him from the game, that would really concern me a little bit, because again, Whitehorn in this iteration would have really spiced up the game, and basically them scrapping such a mechanic and not doing anything to implement systems to force you to stealth more is a bit concerning in my opinion. I've talked about this multiple times before. Obviously right now there's the stamina problem, where there is a lot of stamina in the game, especially because of the prescriptions, and my way of fixing that would be to implement systems that forces you to be more stealthy rather than taking the stamina away. So technically you still have the option to play aggressively, but you are discouraged to do so because of certain systems. And Whitehorn would have been one of these systems. If his shotgun was truly gonna be hit scan and you wanted to do a no damage run, more than likely you would have to be stealthy. Now, dragging away from Whitehorn though, about the new prime asset, obviously it is exciting to hear that he might be something completely new that we have no idea about what he's gonna be. That is exciting news. And honestly, I did not expect Rosie to just come ahead and in the dev stream announce that out of the blue and actually acknowledge Whitehorn's existence for the first time. Like, this is the first time Red Barrels actually acknowledged his existence openly in development of sorts. Other than that, we only knew from him from one document in the game and obviously the leaks. So that is really nice. I'm glad they did that, because imagine if they didn't and we got closer to the summer trial release and then it turned out to be someone else, and everyone was gonna ask where's Whitehorn, and then it would come out maybe and then say he was cancelled, and then everyone would get mad because everyone was going in the last the past few months expecting Whitehorn, so I'm pretty glad that they got out of the gate real quickly. But the problem is, since we don't know anything about the new Prime asset, we don't know if he's gonna add something to the gameplay, because the current problem, and this is also a main reason why I wanted to make a video about this as well, is the main problem is currently the Prime assets gameplay wise don't offer a whole lot, and I think that is a problem. I think that is, in my opinion, a problem, and that should be addressed at some point. Currently, Coil and Gooseberry both are basically heavy ground variants of sorts. Like, okay, they pretty much one-shot doors, they do a shitload of damage, they're not really getting stunned by bricks and bottles, and they have insane lunges, yada yada yada, but overall they're basically just a heavy ground variant, if you wanna put it that way, and there's not much, you know, difference. They don't have something unique about them, and not even unique to each other. One of the best parts about Coil, in my opinion, was, before they fixed it in the last update, was that he had stun rig immunity, because that actually meant that he, like, the stun rig actually had some downsides. Like, a strong rig actually had some downsides, that you had to use it differently against him and use it as a distract tool instead of stunning him directly. And in general, that Coil has this strength that he basically doesn't really get stunned by anything except blind mine, of course, but these traits should define Prime assets overall. Or for example, Gooseberry. That was a while ago, but a while ago Gooseberry was like the only character who had like an insane lunge, and you had to respect her middle distance. A lot of people complained about that. I thought it was pretty good, because that made her stand out, and that means you actually had to respect her, or, you know, have stuns ready in order to cancel the lunge. For example, like a brick just to cancel the lunge or something like that. But then everyone kind of got insane lunges with the tracking hits anyway, so then that got also thrown out of the window. I'm just overall just concerned that the Prime asset might just be a reskin more than anything. And I'm all for the whole thing of, oh my god, new character, because Red Barrels managed to create two really iconic characters in this Outlast installment, along with, you know, Coil and Gooseberry, two really iconic villains, and I'm pretty sure they can nail it with a third one. I'm not, you know, denying that, but in terms of gameplay, I feel there needs to be some changes regarding Prime Asset. I think Prime assets just being heavy grunts, basically, like some advanced version of the base grunt, is not good enough, in my opinion. And because of the Whitehorn cancellation, we know that the third Prime asset could have been a shotgun wielding maniac, which would have spiced up the gameplay a lot. And if the void is now filled by a character that is just like Coil and Gooseberry, let's say, then one, we will have to ask ourselves why we should be excited for Prime assets to begin with, if they don't really add anything gameplay related. And two, it would also back to the entire other discussion, especially by Outlast Trials people that want to say, oh my god, the game dies, oh my god, game dead, developer gonna abandon it, it just put in microtransaction, you know, these types of people. It just feeds them if the new Prime asset just turns out to be extremely basic and vanilla, and the cool stuff that would have really changed the game, Whitehorn, was cancelled for it. So that is kind of the concerning part about it. Still, it doesn't change the fact that I'm really excited for summer, but I still wanted to bring this video out, even as a video. I made a community post real quick, just to get the news out, but I still wanted to make that video because I want to know, especially from you guys in the comments, what you think about the whole Prime asset situation, if you share the same opinion as me, that Prime assets should have specific traits to them, because I think that will be really important going forward. But yeah, Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more Outlast Trials content in the near future if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, other than that, have a great rest of your day and take care everyone. Bye bye.